Why, hello everyone. Oh, welcome to Redneck Ways. How's everybody out there in YouTube land? I hope you guys had fun and dandy. Tonight, guys, thought we'd just have a little talk here, a little chit chat. We haven't done that for a while. Been sitting here watching a little TV and a lot of Christmas stuff on there. People buying gifts and stuff. And one video came across, and it was a regular commercial for just all different types of gift on Google. So, and I believe the woman, she was a influencer from TikTok or something. So, I was like, man, that's crazy because now there's really no Hollywood stars anymore. It's people on YouTube and TikTok and stuff now is getting the commercials and all that stuff all up in the limelight. And, but it got me even thinking, I probably think too much. My problem. But I've been thinking a lot here lately about AI and a lot of things like about that situation. And tell you the truth, guys, it scares me to death. It really does, because why would why would the human being make something that's going to replace that human being? It don't make no sense, you know. And um, and it's coming so fast. It's coming really fast. I was hearing on the radio the other day. There was a guy came on, Glenn Beck, and they was talking, and he was saying by 2030, 3035, 2035, the robots, AI robots, are going to be able to do whatever man could do. So, I mean, it's going to take everyone's job, because you know how these greedy employers are. If you're an employer, sorry, but you could even say, so you got cut, you got to make money too. So, you could probably pay more if you wanted, but why? You know what I mean? And if you can get to work for free, you're going to do it. So, what's people going to do? And is everybody going to be sitting on YouTube making videos? And I mean, are we all just going to sit around in our recliner and watching other people and get up, like, after you watch like 6 or 7 hours, get up and make your own video so you get paid? How are people going to get paid and take care of themselves and buy their food, or buy their groceries, um, get money for their light bill, for their gas bill, for fuel for their car? I mean, how's this going to work? I don't understand it at all. um, it probably would have been best if I made this video in there on my laptop so we could watch a couple videos. I could pull up a couple videos, but I think this will work. And AI is, I mean, it's so scary, and it is advancing quickly. And, like with Grok and stuff, that's a little scary too, because they say that this stuff's starting to think for itself. Now, how creepy is that? And if you watched anything with CERN and stuff, been keeping up with that situation, they said that they had found, like, not demons, but they found like poltergeist in whatever they're doing over there. When they're colliding those particles and stuff, they said that they seen it's unnatural stuff. And I'm really thinking that where AI is getting its own conscience, it could be like demons or whatever in there, because I know for a fact that crazy stuff exists. And, they would love to find something to attach to, and, because they try to possess a human if they possibly can. If that person's a weak person, they will get in there and do they'll raise havoc. And sometimes they'll actually kill the person. It just will. It just drains them. So, I mean, it very seriously could adapt to AI, and there we go, and it'll be inside that. And of course, we all know, if you read the Bible and study the Bible, and especially Revelations, we all know where this is going. It's all wrote in the book of Revelations, and that right there, it plainly states about the mark of the beast, and we see that coming in. We see that coming in all the time. You know, they started already. They canceled out the penny. Well, you know what's next? They'd be like, well, we already got rid of the penny, so let's go ahead. They want to get off the fiat cash, is what it is. And they want to go all digital, and that's just even going to make it even that much more easier for them to get in our stuff. They'll know everything we buy, all the way down to when we bought our last toothbrush or our last pair of undershorts. You know what I mean? They'll know. And that's just scary, guys. But here's what I don't understand. Where are the people out there saying, okay, we may need to slow this down. Let's slow this ship down, guys. We don't know what's going to happen. We just need to slow this thing down and see what's going to, see if we can prepare, at least prepare. But how do you prepare for something like that? Something that, if like there's going to be no jobs safe, none. They like I was talking to my dad, and I was telling him the same thing. I was like, there's no job safe. And I told him one of them's a doctor. You think a doctor or a lawyer would be super safe? And Dad says, oh yeah, I can see how the doctor's going to go, because they were already using robots to do surgery, and that is very true. Scary times, guys. And like down at the mill where I work, I mean, you could train 2 monkeys to do that job. So I'm sure they'll be able to come up with a robot to make feed for animals, and you know what I mean, stack it up, put it up against the wall. And then they got robot trucks to go pick it up. It is scary times, guys. So what do you guys think? I sit here and I think about all this crazy stuff. And it used to be science fiction. We used to watch this stuff on TV and our movies back in the 80s and 90s. It used to be, it was science fiction. I got flooded my zip. Well, there it goes. I just filled it. But yeah, I think it's just this is stuff we've seen, like The Matrix, just all different types of movies. I guess kind of programmed us for what's coming. But I just don't understand why they're pushing it. And I don't really think all the people want this. I don't see or hear too many people saying that they're excited about AI. Just a little while ago, I made a video, and I noticed this happen for like a week or two. Every time I go to push pause or do something, that daggone AI button pops up like it wants to help. And I don't know. I'm fine. I don't need it. If I can't do it myself, I do not want no fake help. And I can't stand these videos that you watch that are documentaries, and then that daggone, it's a robot voice is what it is. Sounds like a guy or a man, and yeah, I just hate it. It ruins the whole thing. And it's like forever. It's like they'll start talking about something, and they'll drag that one particular little part out long, like it'll be talking about hooking up a battery or something like that, and it'll go through like so much description on how to hook that battery up, and it'll make like a 10-minute video into 3 hours. That drives me absolutely crazy. And a lot of times it's good, the title is really interesting. So I hate those AI movies. Talking about AI shows and stuff, I've been watching a lot about Atlas. Atlas. What is it? Atlas or whatever it is. I'm butchering that. What is that? One Eye Atlas. Is that it? But anyway, there's a lot of AI on that too. But then I found a lot that wasn't AI. So that is scary. It's okay. It's like NASA is not. They're not. Okay. I was watching this thing. NASA's got billions of dollars wrapped up in these telescopes, right? They finally came out with their footage when One Eye Atlas got back from the sun, because it went behind the sun and we couldn't see it or whatever for a few days back in 1st of November. Well, when it finally came back, and oh no, it was before it went behind the sun, it passed Mars. Well, we have cameras on supposedly the rovers, and then there's another I can't remember all the satellites and cameras, but anyway, there's quite a few that they could link to and take pictures of One Eye Atlas. Okay, and they did, and then there was one. I don't know if it was before or after it went behind the sun, but it was like the most expensive camera on that thing, Gemini or something like that. But anyway, it was supposed to be the best picture and video that we could possibly had of One Eye Atlas, right? Well, for one thing, that NASA dragged their feet on even releasing anything. China had already released a grainy footage. Japan actually had the best footage of all of it, other than your do-it-yourselfers. But anyway, finally NASA shows the picture, and it's horrible. It's like you couldn't a 3-year-old could have done a better picture, and they're just hiding. They're always hiding things. So I don't know what they're hiding on that. But there's people here that's got like 10,000, like these cheaper telescopes, like 5,000, 10,000, a cheaper telescope, and they've been really getting some really good footage. And what's crazy, you put theirs up against the ones that NASA has that's cost $10 billion, and they're 100 times better. But this thing, like a comet, is supposed to have, when it comes around the sun, the tail, it's melting, it's melting and stuff. So the tail is pretty much supposed to be going toward the sun. Now, I'm kind of new at this, so bear with me if I get a few key points wrong. But it's supposed, way I've understood, the tail goes sideways toward the sun. Well, this thing, the tail's like over here, and then it's up here, it's over here, and it's spinning like this. It's not going to the sun. And the craziest thing is, once it came back around the sun, there was like things came off of it. Like, I wouldn't call it ships or nothing like that, but it was like rock, pieces of rock, or whatever it's made of, whatever it was, it came off of. There was like 5 or 6 different things just shooting across. And, it's doing all kinds of stuff that are not in the books that a regular comet should be doing. It's not acting like a comet at all. And it just seems like they're hiding stuff. Now, I've always, because back in the day, I seen a magazine, which back then I didn't know much about it, but then I heard about it again on Coast to Coast. I think Art Bell talked about it in the 90s. But you all know, too, it's been well talked about. Planet X. I mean, could this be Planet X? And they're not letting us know? Could we be waking up one morning a couple of days before Christmas, and there's going to be some kind of crazy planet sitting up there, just sitting there? I mean, the ancient people, they've wrote on cave walls and stuff about this thing. So, and they actually talked about it in like Popular Science and magazines like that. They actually talked about Planet X. So it makes you wonder, and it really makes you wonder what NASA's hiding. Why did they give those grainy photos? Because we all know if you have all that money wrapped up in your satellites, you're going to have good footage. I mean, come on, if an amateur is putting out better quality video than NASA, I mean, there's something definitely going on. So I was watching a little bit about that, about Atlas, and then you've been just with NASA too. There's just like they're hiding something, because I seen that, I forget what show it was on. Anyway, they was filming from the space station up there, and I think it's like what they always do. They film it, and you can say here on I don't know what channel it is, but you can keep up with it. You can watch it. It's a feed. Well, there was this crazy. It looked like a diamond, and it was like shaped like a diamond, but it had like a fiery ball on each corner of the diamond, and you know what I mean. It was like a diamond, and on each corner was like a fiery red ball, and it goes right across, right in the footage. And then all of a sudden, when it gets almost to the end, because the way they explain, when it gets kind of halfway in the middle of the picture, it'll cut off. I don't know why, because it did kind of disappear. But then it came, when it got to the other side, it came back. And as soon as it came back, they cut the feed. And, you know, they put up their big signs like, we're, sorry for the interruption, you know, we're experiencing problems, you know. That was crazy. And that just happened a couple of days ago. And then I seen another video, and of course, a lot of times with the AI, that's another bad thing. We don't know what's real anymore. What is, you know, you can watch a video and it looks real, but is it? Because I seen one that it looked like something took off. Now, took off, like launched from the moon. Did you all see that one? If you didn't, check that out. Oh my God. It's just like a rocket just went right from the moon. And it had like a tether on the end of it when it came off. I don't know if it was smoke or what. It was crazy. Crazy. But, you know, we just don't know, like I said, about the AI. Don't know what we're watching. But I'll tell you what, about what I think's really, really weird is how all Russia, China, supposedly the government wants us to think that we're all enemies and we're all about that close with going to war. Okay, but on the other hand, back in the 30s, after Lieutenant Byrd, I forget his first name, but anyway, Byrd, if you don't know him, he went down to Alaska. Oh, where's my head? Antarctic, and he went down there and to explore. And supposedly he came back and he said it was crazy because he found land. He found like a big enough place, bigger than the United States, and it was lush and green and beautiful. And it was down in a hole. It was like in a canyon. It's like a big hole, and it was down in there. And I guess they hushed him up or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if he one day end up dead or something. I really need to research to see whatever, if he had a happy ending to life or if it was some kind of like a suicide, but he got stabbed 18 times. You know, might have been one of them things. And I shouldn't have said that word. Shoot. Sometimes I forget. You can't say certain words. I don't even know how. I may be able to edit that out. Hopefully the algorithm won't catch it. But anyway, he went down there and he saw all this lush land, supposedly. But then right after that, when they came back, it was right in that decade, right in that area when NASA came together and made NASA and the space voyage. You know, it was going to go to the moon and everything. Some people think that NASA was made to cover that up. But back to what I was saying, you got all these countries that supposedly were all enemies. We're right, almost at moment notice we're going to go to war. But we all agreed that we won't go down to down there to Antarctic and do anything like drill for oil or anything because of the penguins and stuff. We don't want to harm them. That just don't make sense, does it? I mean, it just don't make sense because you're telling me that Russia's real greedy and they're horrible people and a horrible government, and they're just ready to attack the United States. But on the other hand, even if they could go down to Antarctic and drill and be a very well off country, no, they're not going to do that because of the penguins. Does that make sense, guys? You can't. I know I'm kind of bouncing here and there, but I hope this makes sense to you because this is the way it is in my head. I just wish I could talk better and get what's in my head out because it drives me crazy because it's really hard sometimes for me to get my words out, but I do the best I can. But yeah, it's crazy on that. So hopefully AI, they will back off, but they're not. I don't think they're going to. I watch this one guy and he kind of does videos on Hollywood, old Hollywood, like where the old nightclubs used to be and where Marilyn Monroe used to go have dinner, and Frank Sinatra and all of the greats, you know. But he'll be doing a video and then here comes this little robot down the road. I guess it's like DoorDash or something, you know what I mean? And it's like in these weird places, it's like he'll be in this little deserted little part of town where there's hardly nobody around. And just out of the blue, here comes this little robot, like, and it'll stop it. Like if it sees you, I guess it's programmed to stop for a minute and see if you're going to move, and then it'll take off down the sidewalk. It's the craziest thing. And then they got those self-driving cars driving around. Crazy, yeah. They're driving around and honking. And what are we living in, guys? What time are we living in? I'm not ready for this. I'm so analog. Uh, I love my old stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love some of the new stuff, like when the flat TVs came out. That was great. When the Blu-ray CD player or the DVD came out, that was great. Our computer when it was out. I mean, we finally. I hated like how long it took and lagged, and you had to wait forever for it to load. And when they finally got it fast enough where you didn't really even notice that, that's great. That was great. But I think that should have been the stopping point. What do you guys think? Well, I've rambled on about 10 minutes, so and probably half of this you won't even make sense of. But hopefully you got a little bit out of this, and I got it out of my head and into your ear. So now I feel a little bit better because I think maybe you know, and you might help me. I don't know. How are we going to get out of this, guys? I don't see no good coming out. I see the Antichrist coming in, and I see them making us put things in our body that we don't want there to feed, to eat. I thought, oh my God, I see all this coming because that's what they're pointing to. And they are not slowing down. I mean, that's the point. I don't understand that. I don't think we all want this. I don't think the people want this at all. I think this is being forced on us. And maybe me talking about this, maybe somebody else that we take, well, maybe, and we get a bunch of people together and we can maybe, I don't know, tell them quit doing it. But would that even work? Probably not. Probably not. Oh well. I guess we just have to live the best we can, right, guys? And I guess if it comes down to it, we'll all just have to take care of each other, I guess. Because I ain't taking no chip or nothing in my head. I know that for sure. I don't know. I guess I'll be like one of them crazy cavemen in the woods running around, killing squirrels and stuff. I don't know. Alrighty, guys. It was great having another talk. Like I said, sometimes it's hard for me to get certain things out of my head, onto this daggone video recorder, and but I haven't got to make a good video like this for a while. Oh, I wouldn't call it good. Alright, until the next one, I'll see you right here at Redneck Ways. Bye, guys. There's all kinds of stuff going on up there, but they're saying don't even worry about what's up there. Be paying attention from down here because they're saying these spaceships and stuff's coming out of oceans. They're saying they're coming, just here. And the ocean is one thing that man hasn't really discovered much of. And there's lots, these crazy lots everywhere. But maybe it's AI. Who knows? All right, guys. Till the next one. Oh.